Most Spanish learners get stuck with the verb quedar because its meaning changes a lot with context. And that's a problem because you're going to come across this verb a real lot when speaking Spanish. But the good news is that once you understand its core uses, everything starts falling into place. So, in this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most important uses of quedar and quedarse, from the most literal to the more advanced. Now, if you're new here, my name's Josh and I've helped thousands of people learn Spanish through my online course here on YouTube. Alright, let's get started with the first meaning. Now, the first meaning is the most basic. Quedar is used here to say how much of something is left or remaining, especially when it's running out. This is one of the first ways you'll hear it in real conversations. For example, no queda pan. There's no bread left. Or, ¿cuántos asientos quedan? How many seats are left? Or, solo queda un poco de leche. There's only a little milk left. Now you're going to hear this use all the time, whether someone's talking about time, food, money, or battery life. Whenever something's running low, quedar is the verb you need. The second use of quedar is to say where something is. Now it's kind of like the verb estar, but in Latin America, people often use quedar when asking or giving directions. For example, ¿Dónde queda la estación? Where's the station? Or, el hotel queda cerca del centro. The hotel is near the center. Or another example, la biblioteca queda al lado del museo. The library is next to the museum. Now you can think of it like saying, where is it located? It gives the sense that the place is fixed in that spot. You'll hear this a lot in real life when asking for directions or when locals explain where something is. The third use of quedar is in its reflexive form, quedarse. That little se at the end changes the meaning. Instead of to be located, quedarse means to stay or to remain in a place, like when you decide not to leave. For example, nos quedamos en casa todo el fin de semana. We stayed at home all weekend. Or, me quedé en la oficina hasta tarde. I stayed late at the office. Or, ¿te vas o te quedas? Are you leaving or staying? You'll use quedarse a lot when talking about where you slept, what you did on a trip, or if you chose to stay in instead of going out. It's really common in everyday conversations. Think of it as to stay put or to remain there. Now, reflexive verbs can look tricky, but here it really is simple. Quedarse means staying somewhere and not moving. Now that you've seen how quedar and quedarse work for location and staying somewhere, the next meaning is one native speakers use all the time in casual talk. So have you ever wanted to say that you're meeting up with someone in Spanish? Well, that's where quedar con comes in. It means to arrange plans or meet up with a person. For example, he quedado con Juan a las 5, which means I've arranged to meet Juan at 5 o'clock. Or, ¿con quién has quedado esta noche? Who are you meeting up with tonight? Or another example, ¿Quieres quedar para mañana? Do you want to meet up tomorrow? This use of quedar is really common in Spain, especially in casual chats and text messages between friends. Now, people in Latin America understand it too, even if they don't use it so much. Now, coming up next is a meaning of quedar that can completely change how you describe clothes fitting. But if you're enjoying this video and you want some extra practice, I've made a free PDF that shows all 7 key uses of quedar, plus practice sentences that you can try on your own. You'll find it linked below. And if you enjoy learning through stories, my Spanish short stories for beginners book is a great way to see verbs like quedar in action in everyday conversations. Now I've left a link down below for that too. Okay, so let's move on. So the fifth meaning of quedar is to talk about how clothes fit. It works just like the English verb to fit. You can use it to ask if something is too big, too small, or just right. So someone could ask you, ¿Cómo te queda la chaqueta? How does the jacket fit you? And you could respond, Me queda un poco grande. It's a bit big. Or literally you're saying, it fits me a bit big. Now, it's also common when complimenting someone's style or saying how well something suits them. For example, Esa camisa te queda genial. That shirt looks great on you. Or literally, that shirt fits you great. This is a simple but important way to use quedar, and you're going to hear it often in everyday conversations about clothes and fashion. Now, next up, we're back with the reflexive form quedarse, and this time it shows how someone or something can completely change state. It's a meaning that's probably going to surprise you. So, for the sixth use of quedarse, it's all about showing how someone or something ends up after a change. It's really useful for talking about sudden or unexpected reactions, whether emotional or physical. For example, me quedé dormido. I fell asleep. Or literally, I ended up asleep. Or another example, se quedó sin palabras. He was left speechless. Or literally, he ended up speechless. And then another example, nos quedamos sorprendidos. We were shocked. Or literally, we ended up surprised. You use this to describe moments when things change quickly, like getting shocked, surprised, or losing your words. Native speakers use it all the time, so learning this will help you to sound more natural and expressive in Spanish. Now, before we move on to the seventh meaning, here's a quick question. Which of these uses have you heard most in real life? And which one surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, so the seventh must-know use is quedarse con algo. Literally, it means to stay with something. But we usually use it to say to keep something, to choose something, or to end up with something. It's perfect for moments when you make a decision, like picking between options, or for shopping, or seeing who got what in the end. Okay, so here's some examples. Me quedo con este. I'll take this one. Or I'm going with this one. Or ¿Quién se quedó con el dinero? Who ended up with the money? Or al final me quedé con el azul. In the end, I went with the blue one. This use of quedarse is really handy because it pops up all the time in real life. If you master this use, you'll sound much more natural when talking about decisions or outcomes in Spanish. Now, remember how I said at the start of this video that quedar is tricky because its meaning changes depending on the context? Well, just watching this video once won't make it stick. You need practice. You need to hear quedar in real sentences, in real situations, again and again. That's exactly what my beginner's Spanish course helps you to do. It guides you to build full natural sentences from the very first lesson, using verbs like quedar. Now you can start the course for free right here on YouTube. Just click the thumbnail on screen now or check the link in the description. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next week.